Mr. Pankaj Mehta. He is MD of Carrier Transicold India and South Asia, including Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and Maldives. With more than 2 decades of experience, he is responsible for the overall leadership, strategic direction, and operating performance of the truck trailer refrigeration business. Mr. Pankaj is co-chairman of the National Task Force on Post-Harvest and Logistics set up by Confederation of Indian Industries in association with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Processing to stimulate cold chain infrastructure development. He also served in the Indian Navy for a decade. Today, Mr. Pankaj will talk about cold chain logistics, current trends, and future technologies. So, delegates, let's welcome Mr. Pankaj.
As the topic is, this is on business opportunities in cold chain. So let me tell you a couple of slides of what we are. So Carrier, as you know, is a brand into air conditioning, refrigeration, and also into fire and security, and all solutions that matter to the people and our planet. The way we look at refrigeration, it's seagoing containers, road truck trailers, cargo monitoring solutions, I think is very, very important. And then we have stationery, retail and warehousing. So coming to a little bit closer home on logistics. So you can see the different modes of logistics in cold chain. So on the top row, you've got the road solutions, vans, truck, trailers. In India today, we see only vans and trucks, not so much trailers. We hope that changes because that will also reduce the cost of logistics. And on the bottom row, you got the alternate roads, that is shipping lines, very, very crucial. Rail, important for large geographies. We are also in discussions to adapt rail for India. And then the other one, which again reduces cost and adds a lot of flexibility, is the intermodal refrigerated containers. You can see the picture there. These are containers which are self-powered. They can be put on a seabed, they can be put on a flatbed trailer or on railways. So something that is definitely an option which we should be looking at. Now, when we come closer home in India, we've got more than 25 years experience. And we are also seeing growth in South Asia, our neighboring countries, good opportunities for cold chain. So, companies which are looking at investments or business opportunities should look at India region as a whole. And you can see there the various, on logistics, you got last mile vans, you got interstate reefer trucks, and you got long haul trailers. So, and I think the topic could not have been at a more appropriate time. We got two very strong focus areas. One is on global food wastage. Now, I'm sure this audience would have seen this number earlier also. 1/3 or more of all the food that is produced in the world is wasted. And if food waste were a country, it could have been the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases. We've seen all the focus on environment and sustainability in the recent weeks and months. So I think this itself is a big problem, and investments in cold chain have proven to be significant in reducing global food wastage. So that's I think a big incentive. When we look at cold chain, again, we talk about right from source to consumption. So we talk about preserving, protecting, delivering at the right temperature, and making sure it is displayed and protected even when it is at the racks. What are the opportunities? What do we see in and around us? So, I think we need to look at these in terms of priority. The last 1.5 years has also shown us the huge dependence of healthcare or vaccine distribution on an effective cold chain. The present vaccination drive and the milestone of 1.5 billion that India has proudly achieved could not have been done without an effective cold chain. Agri-perishables, again, as I said, reduction in food loss, which also directly ensures better returns to farmers. And the opportunity in agri-tech or e-commerce. Today, Even the way we buy our fruits and vegetables has changed. Sitting at home with all the restrictions on travel, the e-commerce sector, especially for fruits and vegetables, the perishables, has seen a significant jump. And again, cold chain, a very, very crucial part of that business model. The third one is a sector which has been a big focus for the government. We're talking about the blue economy. Our fisheries sector, especially in the coastal states of South India, I think a huge opportunity there, and the consumption of fish in the North India part of India is so big that we see a huge opportunity, which will also reduce product loss. It is also a significant opportunity for exports out of India. And that is one sector which actually could see a lot more conversion from an unorganized to an organized market, even in terms of hygiene and best practices on delivery and consumption. So I think these are the three: pharma, agri-produce, and fisheries in terms of commodity are big opportunities for investments in cold chain. The other three, again, on food safety, you I've seen Food Safety Standards Authority of India, FSSAI, increasing awareness about hygiene, about guidelines on good practices on distribution and storage of food. Online retail, again, I mentioned about e-commerce, again, online retail overall, leading to more consumption of, organized packaged food material. So I think perishable movement through the cold chain is important. And then we see quick service restaurants. We see expansion in smaller towns of these restaurants. It also helps penetration of cold chain into these small towns, which also acts as an enabler for return logistics. I mean, just imagine a truck carrying fast food going to a small town restaurant, delivering there. On the return load, it can probably carry some dairy products, it can carry some fruits and vegetables, it can carry so much. So there's a huge opportunity there of penetration of cold chain into the smaller towns. And then we see that consumption also expanding with the young population very keen to adapt that. So opportunities galore. So when we see these opportunities, we also need to be cognizant of the future of cold chain. Cold chain has to be sustainable. It has to be safe. Cold chain needs to ensure food security. It needs to ensure that it moves from production to the patient, in the best compliance. Connecting the cold chain, I think this is a topic. Connected cold chain. Today, data is key, transparency key of making sure that the product moves and there is total reliable data across the cold chain. And all this has to be done keeping in mind the damage we do or the impact we have on the planet, whether it is refrigerant, whether it is emissions, whether it is product material. I think that's key. So this is, just also to look at what will happen tomorrow. Solutions have to be application based. It has to be market specific, like solutions which are needed in India. You see small vans, small, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, last mile delivery opportunities, huge sector where cold chain is required. We talk about alternate energy sources. We see the diesel prices going up. We see the impact of fossil fuel on cost of transportation. So electrification, electric vehicles, sourcing of power for all application, including refrigeration. Again, a big thrust area. And I mentioned to this a connected cold chain, which talks about IoT, blockchain, data being available, and transparency of data as it moves from farm to the destination, even across road, rail, going across the seas. The person who's importing the data should also be able to see how that product has made its journey. So, and what will this lead to? I mean, what happens with all this? One is, as I the direct impact on reduction of losses, food losses, medicine, pharmaceutical. It optimizes the cost supply chain. It increases resilience. We are that much sure of the confidence that the product has come through the proper channel, and we are definitely more conscious, more responsible in the adaptation of cold chain. So I think this is great, and I thank the Thermal Control group for organizing this. I think it is more and more required that we stay connected. We have these dialogues and discussions to make sure that the cold chain of the future is one with continuous collaboration and improvement. Thank you.